You're Mateo's older sister. Your name is Angelica, right? I just thought I'd let you know that I got your phone number from your little brother, so don't be too alarmed. Oh, Flora, right? Thank you again for today. I know that today we were all supposed to be there, so I'm sorry for not meeting with you in person. I know I made a promise even, but there was nothing I could do. You should be sorry about that. I didn't even imagine that the sister of my man would be willing to meet with me over video call on a day like today. And that's why I am very sorry about that. At first, I was going to be able to meet you in person, but then the plane I was planning on getting on didn't arrive at the airport due to bad weather, and so I had to wait a while to get home. Is that what happened? Well, it doesn't matter now. I'm sure that you are a very busy woman having to handle all that work. So if you're always going to be that caught up in your responsibilities, you really don't have to worry about me.
Angelica? Did you really go and buy that ticket to Hawaii yourself, instead of letting me get it for you?
Hi, Mateo.
And I hear you went and reserved your own hotel room as well.
That's all the truth.
I'm so sorry. The reason you never got a notice from us is because Flora thought that you weren't going to be able to make it to our wedding and marked you as not coming on our guest list. That ended up causing us not to get you a ticket or a room, which left me in shock when that was brought to my attention later. I think that Flora was thinking you'd really be busy with your work at the time of our wedding, so that meant in her mind that you wouldn't be making it all the way out to Hawaii. I'm really sorry about that, Angelica.
Don't worry about it. I should have noticed something was up about that a whole lot sooner, but recently I've had a lot taking my attention away and totally forgot to check.
Will you be able to make it here for my wedding then?
My flight should be arriving there that morning, which means I'll make it to the wedding venue right on time. I've been to Hawaii plenty of times now for work, especially Honolulu. So when I get there, I'll know right where to go and the fastest way of getting to you guys.
Allow me to pay you back whatever you spent on tickets and the hotel later, please. I feel really bad about the confusion.
You don't have to bother with that. Things like that happen all the time, so I'm not blaming any of you for it. Now, thinking about this wedding, this will be my first time meeting with you after a year's gone by.
I mean, you and I call and text quite often, but I guess it has been a year now since we last saw one another in person during Mom and Dad's anniversary.
Because of work, I'm always away from home and all of you guys. And when it came to that day you planned out for me to finally meet with Flora in person, I had to do it over video call because my flight got delayed by a day.
That wasn't a big deal, though. Both of her parents understand that you are a very busy woman and that you're rarely even in the U.S. most of the time.
I plan to meet with them and Flora the moment I get to your wedding, so please let them know that.
Sure, I can do that.
What's this? Angelica, why have you come all the way out to Hawaii to be at our wedding? Flora? Oh, good timing, actually. I just got here a few minutes ago, but I was told by the lady at the front that I'm not on the guest list and that I'm not allowed to enter the venue. Well, of course you were told that by her. This wedding that we're holding today is only meant for family members to attend, and we made that decision from the very start of our planning. I'm aware of that, and I just so happen to be family of Mateo. Were you even listening? We only invited family to this wedding today. What? What makes you think that you're a part of our family and that you could come all the way out to Hawaii for the wedding? As my sister-in-law, you're not considered a part of our family, right? Mateo's getting married to me and will become a part of my family, but you are not a part of this marriage, which means you're not family, right? You're just a stranger to all of us. A stranger. If you want to be a part of a family so badly, then how about you find yourself a husband and get married into his family? We don't have any more room in this family for a woman like you to be entering right now. So would you turn around and go away now? Does this mean that what happened with things like the plane ticket and the hotel room were your doing? There were never any plans of getting you plane tickets to come here at a hotel room, right? I didn't forget or make any mistakes there. But I never never thought that you would go and buy your own tickets and hotel rooms so that you could be here today. Are you really that crazy of a woman? You're scary. I knew that something like that was possible. You ended up growing up with no parents or any other family as a child, so you didn't have anyone to teach you things like common sense, right? Since you're just that mentally challenged now, I think this will mark the first day of you not being a sister to Mateo anymore. Huh? And do you think that Mateo would be all right with something like that? Do you think he'd be fine kicking me out of his life and no longer thinking of me as family? Oh, come on now, Angelica. Of course he wants you gone now. When Mateo first proposed to me, he said that he and I would become family. In other words, he's going to be cutting ties to you today and will become a part of my household. That's what he's been waiting for a long time now, I'm sure. So that's the idea you've come up with him? So, now that I've explained everything, you're nothing more than a stranger to us now. You aren't even invited to this wedding today. You're an uninvited guest that nobody here wants. Hurry up and go back home where you belong. Understood. Well, from here on out, we're just strangers to one another. Although when my brother proposed to you, I'm not so sure he meant he would be cutting me out and joining you all.
Angelica? Where are you right now? I got a message from you saying that you arrived at the airport, but you should be at the wedding venue by now, though, right?
Mateo, I'm really sorry to have to tell you this, but sounds like I'm not going to be allowed to attend your wedding.
What? Why do you think that? You came all the way to Hawaii for this, so why would you say that you can't attend my wedding now? You're my only family when it comes to who I have left, and yet... No way!
I knew that would be the kind of reaction I'd get from you after hearing this.
Well, of course I'd be shocked and upset. It's because I've had you around all my life that I was able to attend college and get a good job. Why are you saying you're not allowed to attend my wedding now?
Have you not heard anything yet from Flora about this?
What? From Flora? Right now she's in her changing room getting her wedding dress on and everything. What would she know about this, though?
Could you please go to that changing room and ask her why something like this would be happening to me? And once you've heard what she has to say about me, you can decide how you want to act and what path you choose.
Angelica, I have no idea what is going on right now, to be completely honest with you. I guess I can go run over to her and see what's going on. Just give me a little bit. Flora, I was going to come in there to talk with you about something, but you seem pretty busy still getting changed, so would it be fine for me to just text you instead?
Yeah, we can text right now. What's up?
Just now I was talking with my sister about the wedding.
Oh, so that's what you want to talk about, right? She really is such a sly yet simple-minded woman, isn't she?
What?
I told her from the very start that today's wedding would only be for our family members to attend, all right? She wasn't even invited to come, yet she went out of her way to buy those plane tickets, book a hotel, and come all the way to Hawaii to try and force her way into the wedding. She really is such a mentally challenged woman, right? Whatever happened to people having any common sense?
Hold on a sec. Flora, was the reason you never booked my sister those plane tickets or got her a hotel room here because you didn't want her coming in the first place? You didn't want her coming because you don't consider her my family?
That's right. Once you marry me, you are no longer a part of her family anymore, so there's no reason to have her here now, right? And about that woman, did she really think she could just ask for everything in return after paying for you to go to a basic college or something? The right thing to do here is cut ties to her, Mateo.
I can't believe this. How could you?
Mateo?
Flora, this wedding is canceled now.
What?
I'm no longer getting married to you, and us being engaged is over with now.
Huh?
I was just with your parents a second ago and showed them the things you said, and we came to the conclusion together that this wedding was over with.
Why? You think I'm just going to accept this without you giving me a frickin' reason first?
The one and only family member that I have left, that being my older sister, was turned away from my wedding today by you. And that's why I can no longer marry you anymore.
Huh? Wait, what are you talking about, Mateo? When you proposed to me, you asked me to become a part of your family, right? That meant you were willing to cut ties to Angelica and choose me to become your family, right?
So that's what you thought. I guess I should have thought twice about saying something like that to a dimwit like you. Although I'm not sure that anywhere in those words I said was me also saying that I wanted to cut ties to my only sister, my only family, and go with you.
What? You didn't mean that.
I wanted you to take those words the way I meant them. What got you thinking down such a screwed up path like that in the first place after I proposed to you?
And
another thing, I believe that we talked about this before as well. The whole reason we were even able to afford this wedding venue at half the price in the first place was because of what my sister did.
Huh? What do you mean?
Angelica is running a company that imports different kinds of goods into the U.S. from countries all over the world, right? She has to travel all over the world to different companies to have meetings about making deals for them to send goods to her warehouses so that she can then sell them in the U.S. And one of the places that does a lot of that importing is Hawaii, from countries all over the world, but primarily Asia. One of the groups here in Hawaii that she's selling to a lot is the company who owns this wedding venue. And because of that relationship, she was able to rent this place for half the price.
Huh?
Yet the one person that we were all thankful for was kicked out of this wedding by you, the bride.
Mateo.
We are going to have a longer discussion about all of this when we get back home. Until our flight's back home, I'm going to go and stay at another hotel in order to be away from you and have time to myself to think.
No, wait, Mateo!
I'm not waiting. Goodbye for a while now.
Angelica, come back to the wedding venue right now. You can attend my wedding now. If you don't come back here right now, then I'm not going to be able to marry Mateo. I promise to regard you as my family now if you just please come back here. That way I can still marry Mateo, and you will finally have a family of more than just one person, right? Everyone will be able to win. Angelica?
Angelica? I had the whole entire wedding canceled. At the time, the person responsible for all of this didn't want to accept what was going to happen, but luckily, their parents were able to force the wedding to be ended, and our engagement to one another stopped.
I see. So you went ahead and got away from her. Even now, I'm getting call after call and text after text from her about how this is all my fault and that I need to come back.
I'm sorry about that. You can go ahead and just block her number now if you want. I'm going to officially break things off when I get back home and have the mental freedom to, but you don't have anything to do with her anymore, so you can just forget about her in general.
Understood. Then allow me to end things between her and I once and for all. That's right, you're probably going to need a lawyer or something, right? I can ask the lawyer that I go through for my company and see if he can recommend you a really good marriage lawyer to help you deal with Flora. Would you like that?
That would be wonderful, actually. Are you sure that's all right with your busy schedule, though?
All I have to do is give him a call and explain the situation, so it won't take time away from my job at all.
Thank you so much, Angelica. That'll save me plenty of time and mental strain now. By the way, I've gone and canceled my stay at the hotel I was planning on going to, and I changed my ticket to today so that I could go home now. Would you want to ride home on the same plane with me?
I see. I suppose I can do that too and find a seat on there with you. Let's do it. After getting back home, Mateo was able to officially call things off with Flora, with the help of the lawyer I got him in touch with and Flora's parents. Originally, there were talks about getting a settlement from Flora, but in the end, the only thing that Mateo asked for was that Flora pay for the whole wedding that was canceled. But even after that, Flora was still not willing to accept what had happened and would try her best to get Mateo back. She went all the way to Mateo's office building while he was there working and sat out front yelling and calling for Mateo to come back and talk with her. But when he continued to stay inside and not confront her, she ran up to the door and started to bang on it, screaming at the top of her lungs. Of course, the police were called on her, and within 10 minutes they had arrived and taken her away in a cop car because she wouldn't listen to them and began to resist arrest. She even hit one of the police officers with her purse, but was lucky that they didn't hold that one against her as assaulting an officer, or else she'd be facing harsher punishment right now. Instead, though, she was handcuffed and taken to the local police station, where she would be held waiting for her parents to pay her bail and pick her up. Later, Flora's parents got her from the police station and told her that after doing something so ridiculous as that and having to pay her $5,000 bail, she'd be going to work for a friend they had, and a man which Flora called disgusting, who just so happened to be single still and looking for a young wife. She would work at his factory making minimum wage in order to start paying off the wedding fees she'd been given, which required her to gut and clean chickens on a factory line, something that I never thought a woman like her would be doing. However, a few months later, when she had finally paid off all the debt she'd been in, her parents forced her into a marriage with the man who ran that factory, whom, once again, she called disgusting. Flora, who is really regretting everything she'd done and wants to come back to Mateo so bad, is now pregnant with the first of many children that her new man wants from her. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next